Australia,
New Zealand,
Southern Africa,
Bangladesh,
Bermuda,
Brazil,
Nigeria,
Japan,
Canada,
Jerusalem and the Middle East,
Ireland,
Mexico,
Pakistan,
Melanesia,
South India,
Papua New Guinea,
Uganda.
Providing space for theological reflection means welcoming and working with scholars, activists, and people of faith. Resourcing the communion means organizing public events, lectures, conferences, and consultations for large and small groups both here in the United States and beyond. It means developing reports, research, publications that stimulate fresh perspectives and renewed practice. Promoting and practicing reconciliation means involvement in intercultural and interfaith work. It's a grounding of our commitment to the gospel. And because of the generosity of the Henry Luce Foundation and partnership with religious leaders globally, we're involved in exciting developments locally and internationally. Across the country, across the world, and across party lines, the Center for Anglican Communion Studies seeks to practice and promote better relationships and deeper community. We believe that's our calling. We believe responding to that call is a means to deeper participation in God's mission.
North India,
Scotland.
Southeast Asia.
Better technology and easier travel means that people in the Anglican Communion are closer than they ever have been. Yet at the same time, there seems to be a danger that we will grow further apart. We need opportunities and places to come together, to talk together, and to pray together. The Center for Anglican Communion Studies is somewhere we can find that space and create that space.
Well, in my context, a partnership with VTS and the Centre for Anglican Studies brings a lot of wealth. It brings the opportunity to have conversations about the communion in a setting that isn't one of the councils of our churches, however we might think of councils. It just provides a whole different environment in which really important questions can be explored in a setting which is open to a whole range of people from the communion.
Rwanda,
Kenya,
South America.
So the greatest challenge now is how the church could be more visible. How could we help in a greater sense?
Because the war has caused a lot of problems. There's a lot of shortage of professors. We are lacking facilities. We're lacking the external exposure. As a result, we are not reaching as many as we should reach.
We are in the same communion in the world. So cross-culture is very important so that mission can be effective everywhere.
The Center for Anglican Communion Studies is an important part of the curriculum and process of formation we offer at Virginia Theological Seminary. We're an Episcopal, residential, graduate seminary with global reach. The center helps us focus on how best to integrate our worldwide relationships into formative opportunities for students. Students and prospective students need to ask how theological education resources ministry and leadership in today's world. Our answer to that question is that we have faculty and staff, along with a dedicated Center for Anglican Communion Studies, that provide international and intercultural scholarship, training, and exchange.
the Philippines,
Tanzania,
Wales,
the West Indies.
Our biggest enemy is ignorance. So when we come together, actually we eliminate our ignorance.
The thing that I love about the communion is because it is this global connection with people all around the world. We're able to be that kind of global family, and ultimately we are all called to be the family of God. And we get a bigger glimpse of what God is like and a bigger glimpse of what God's kingdom is like. The more multicultural our expressions of worship, the more multicultural our expression of the church.
And I think that's the beauty of the fellowship of Christ's love, that where oceans divides us, the love of Christ unites us. That coming here makes us feel that the world comes together here.
The interfaith conversation is important because people today are exposed to religious pluralism in their neighborhood, their workplace, their school, or simply through the media. In today's globalized world, it is absolutely critical to equip religious leaders with the necessary knowledge and skills to engage with religious diversity. The interfaith conversation fits within the vision of the Center for Anglican Communion Studies because the communion is part of a multicultural and multi-religious world. We need channels of dialogue and understanding. It fits within the vision of the Center because the divine call is for reconciliation.
Virginia Theological Seminary has a long history of sending missionaries out into the world and a long history of welcoming seminarians, leaders and scholars from all over the world. We're internationalists. We believe that the best leaders are internationalists, and Virginia Theological Seminary provides a global context for Christian formation. As Episcopalians, we remain committed to the world church. It's the Center for Anglican Communion Studies that connects us with that church by providing us with a deeper sense and deeper practice of community for the communion. Come and visit the Center for Anglican Communion Studies to see that spirit in action. Visit the website. Invite the Center to be part of the conversation in your context.